Hi, Miss Lizzie from the Hedberg Public Library. I'm here today to tell you about some great books for middle grade readers about fantastic animal tales. These are all fantastic because they are stories that take place in the real world about children and animals, but they all have a bit of the fantastic or fantasy element to them. The first one is a brand new book, Coup by Kaela Noel. It just came out in March of this year. Have you ever wondered about the secret life of pigeons? Have you ever wondered what pigeons might be saying to each other? Well, Coup is a girl who was raised by pigeons. She was abandoned as a baby, and then a flock of pigeons adopted her, flew her to the top of an abandoned warehouse building where there was an old dovecot that they lived in, and she was raised there. She speaks pigeon. She knows everything about pigeons. What she doesn't know is about humans and what human life is like. She can't speak human languages. Until the day her favorite pigeon, Burr, is attacked and really badly injured by a hawk. And so Coup has to face her fears and climb down from that rooftop for the very first time and encounter an actual human being for the very first time. She takes Burr to the human that the birds call the healer. They call her the healer because she comes and she scatters seed for them in the empty lot down below the building they live in. And if there's an injured pigeon, she takes that bird away, and sometimes the bird comes back healed, so they call her the healer. She's actually a retired postal worker with a love for pigeons. And when she sees Coup, she realizes Coup needs rescuing as well. But how will Coup figure out how human life works, and how will the retired postal worker, the healer, manage to explain this strange girl who knows birds better than she knows people? An interesting read about pigeons and about what would happen if you were raised by pigeons and then had to make a life as a human. Now, some authors like to sprinkle references to other books in their stories. It's kind of like an Easter egg hunt, especially if you know the books. It's like, ooh, a sudden little surprise. And if you don't know the books that the author's referring to, they're great book suggestions for your next read. Well, one book that is mentioned in Coup is The Fledgling by Jane Langton. This is an older book, and it's about a girl, Georgie, who finds out she really can fly. And she's tutored in the art of flying by this mysterious Canada goose. If you ever believed, or really wanted to believe, that you could fly, I know I did. This is a wonderful fantasy. It's set in the real world where flying is possible. It was a Newbery Honor book when it came out, and it's still available through the library in book form. Another newer book, taking us away from birds now to animals, is Pax by Sara Pennypacker. This is about a story about a boy and a fox. The fox is named Pax. War is coming, and the boy's father makes him release his fox that he has raised since it was a kit, a baby, into the woods before he takes his son to the boy's grandfather to live with while the father enlists in the army. Well, the boy immediately, desperately regrets letting his fox go. Pax knows nothing about surviving in the wild, and he is certain that his boy will come back for him. The story is told in alternating viewpoints, the boy and the fox. And both boy and fox know that they belong together, and they try in their own separate ways to get back, to return to each other. The fantastic element in here, besides, of course, foxes talking and being able to know the world and getting an inside view into fox life, is that it doesn't really tell you where or when it takes place. It takes place in a recognizably realistic world, but the war isn't one we know what it is, and the time period or where it takes place is unclear, deliberately. So it's really kind of more like a fable or a parable. But it is a story all about foxes and knowing yourself and being true to what you know is right. A really wonderful book. It's available as an ebook and as an e-audiobook through both Hoopla and Overdrive. Well, now all of those books are a little bit more serious, fantastic stories about animals. So I'm going to wrap it up with a last one that is definitely a funny read. It's one you might actually be familiar with. It came out not too long ago, Flora and Ulysses by Kate DiCamillo. Flora is a cynical, comic-reading child of divorced parents. Ulysses is an unassuming squirrel who was sucked up by a vacuum cleaner, incredibly powerful vacuum cleaner, and survived to become a superhero poet. This was a 2014 Newbery Award winner. It's funny, it's a touching story of friendship and adventure. And there are illuminations in the book, sometimes sort of graphic novel-like, and sometimes more illustrations just in the text, are just wonderful, and they just seamlessly go in, fit in with the text of the story. It's just an awesome story. Even if you've read it before, it's a great one to reread. It's available as an ebook on Hoopla and as an ebook and audiobook on Overdrive. I hope you enjoy tales of fantastic animals as much as I do. Happy reading. See you next time.